Good evening, everyone. Developing news this afternoon as Canada's Deputy Prime Minister runs headlong into pipeline protesters during a visit to Halifax. Chrystia Freeland was trying to get into Halifax City Hall for a meeting with the mayor, but supporters of Indigenous people who oppose a pipeline in BC wouldn't let her in. Similar protests have been shutting down rail transport in the country, creating problems that could back up all the way to the East Coast. CTV's Bruce Frisko leading off tonight with a closer look at the protest and the issues.
If Canada's Deputy Prime Minister was hoping to get a break from the ongoing protests in support of the Wet'suwet'en First Nation during a visit to Nova Scotia, she didn't get it.
No, thank you. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you.
En route to meet the mayor, Chrystia Freeland was physically blocked from getting inside City Hall. The high-profile minister, second only to the PM, doesn't travel with security.
I think it is important for all of us. Whether we are peacefully protesting or whatever we are doing, to respect the rights of all of our fellow Canadians.
Support for Wet'suwet'en's fight against a gas pipeline through their territory has only grown in recent days, quite literally from coast to coast. Yesterday, demonstrators prevented trucks from entering or leaving the Fairview Cove container terminal in Halifax, the largest event of its kind around here so far. The principle even bigger than the pipe.
This is genocide, you know. We've seen in our history things like Oka, we've seen in Elsie Booktook, we've seen even our grandmothers here in Mi'kmaq were arrested for standing on the front lines for the Alton gas resistance, and we're still going to court for that.
This protest, to me, has nothing to do with the port, you know, because they don't carry oil.
No.
That may be true, but it does carry a lot of freight. And with CN threatening to shut down significant portions of its network in southern Ontario, the Port of Halifax is watching the situation closely, deeply concerned about what could happen if a short disruption turns into a long one.
If the cargo stops moving by rail, what you have to keep in mind here in Halifax is that we're a rail-based port. Over 60% of the cargo that's moving through those terminals never ever sees a Nova Scotia highway. It's loaded directly onto rail and shipped to inland markets.
And if the cargo's not moving, the ships could stop coming, and getting them back could be difficult, if not impossible. And there are others watching the situation as well. In a letter to the transport minister, a large chlorine maker expressed concerns its products wouldn't make it to municipal water systems across the country. Halifax Water says it's not a direct customer and it's got a good supply at the moment, but it's monitoring.
Should add, the Deputy Prime Minister made it clear she fully supports the right to protest, but she pretty clearly wasn't happy about being blocked from entering City Hall today. Earlier, she also met with Premier Stephen McNeil. The discussion was housing, but there were pipeline protesters there as well. Steve.
All right, Bruce, thanks. CTV's Bruce Frisko leading us off in the news center tonight.